President Trump just dealt a massive blow to Harvard. Yes, another one. Trump administration yanks Harvard's international student program, potentially kicking out thousands. And the reason why they are doing this is because Harvard is not complying with the Trump administration's request for certain information on some of these students, because from some of these students, we have no idea where they are coming from. And Harvard is perfectly okay with just keeping all of this information for themselves. Of course, these are people that are coming from other countries into our country. It is reasonable for the Trump administration to require that they turn over some information on these students in order for these students to be enrolled in an American institution. But this is what's going on. Kristi Noem posted a statement about this as well. I'm going to get into here in a second. So the Department of Homeland Security announced this, but the Trump administration moved to kick out thousands of foreign students enrolled at Harvard University, accusing its leaders of fostering anti-Semitism. Yes, that's the big anti-Semitism word. You've probably heard me before lament the fact that the Trump administration is so focused on this random thing of anti-Semitism, but yet here we are, and if it is instrumental in, I guess, whipping Harvard into shape, I guess I'll take it. But I don't think, personally, anti-Semitism is a big issue in the United States of America. But that's just me, okay? Only for a federal judge to block immigration officials from revoking the legal status of international students. Just hours later, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced the cancellation of the Student in Exchange Visitor Program for the Ivy League institution, meaning current students from overseas must transfer or leave the U.S. after threatening in a letter last month that leaders not providing data about crimes committed by foreign students would force her hand. So this information that they are refusing to turn over to the federal government is data about crimes committed by foreign students. So it's very interesting. They don't want the Trump administration to get a hold of this information, which is something that we see a lot with these leftist types. They are perfectly okay with excusing certain types of behavior and putting American citizens at risk for the purpose of, I guess, equality, equity, some vague idea about this whole racist situation that we have in the United States, where no one can really see it other than these people. We are not really sure why. But of course, this is being challenged by the courts. This is something that we've seen and have come to expect. The courts are going to push back against this. It's almost like everything that Donald Trump does now, he does. They make a point to do a certain thing. The courts block it, and then it goes to the Supreme Court and or the appellate court, and it gets turned around. So this has just become part of the process now. But the cabinet official also pointed to recent reports and a new congressional investigation into Harvard's purported ties to Chinese military-linked institutions. This administration is holding Harvard accountable for fostering violence, anti-Semitism, and coordinating with Chinese Communist Party on its campus. Now, I'm going to go to the actual statement by Kristi Noem here. This is coming directly from the Department of Homeland Security Secretary to Maureen Martin. And she says, I am writing to inform you that effective immediately, Harvard University's Student in Exchange Visitor Program certification is revoked. As I explained to you in my April letter, it is a privilege to enroll foreign students, and it is also a privilege to employ aliens on campus. All universities must comply with Department of Homeland Security's requirements, including reporting requirements under the Student and Exchange Visitor Program regulations, to maintain this privilege as a result of your refusal to comply with the multiple requests to provide the Department of Homeland Security pertinent information while perpetuating an unsafe campus environment that is hostile to Jewish students, promotes pro-Hamas sympathies, and employs racist, diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. You have lost this privilege. The revocation of your Student in Exchange Visitor Program certification means that Harvard is prohibited from having any aliens on F or J non-immigrant status for 2025 through 2026 academic year. This decertification also means that existing aliens on F or J non-immigrant status must transfer to another university or in order to maintain their non-immigrant status. This action should not surprise you, and it is an unfortunate result of Harvard's failure to comply with simple reporting requirements. So I guess the big question that we need to ask here is, why is Harvard not wanting to report this information to the federal government? It's kind of weird, right? They have foreign students that are coming to their university. They get involved in some, let's say, extra legal activities. And Harvard does not want to report this stuff to Homeland Security, which is a requirement that they have in order to retain or maintain this status of being allowed to enroll foreign students. But they don't want to. Now, Kristi Noem, she went on Fox News to talk about this whole situation. And you might be surprised that Harvard actually enrolls a ton of foreign students. In fact, almost 20% of Harvard University's students are foreign. Fox News host says here, I mean, if you trust what the Fox News host is saying, I have no reason not to. She says that 18% of Harvard University's freshman class this year is foreign. And this is Kristi Noem talking about this whole situation. Take a look.
So as you mentioned, 18% of Harvard's freshman class this year are foreign. They're foreigners here on student visas. What happens? Where do they go now? What do they do?
Yeah, we have given Harvard multiple opportunities to give us the documentation that we've requested to conduct oversight. We've asked them for the backgrounds on students that attend their university, their criminal activity on campus, off of campus, any video or audio footage they have of this violent activity, and they have just simply not complied. This is something that they need to do in order to comply with this program as it was established. And so, unfortunately, all of their foreign students will face the consequences of Harvard's lack of protecting the individuals that go there. So 27% of their students are foreign students, and they will have to find some other university to go to. And hopefully they find one that cares about them and provides a safe environment.
Wow, that is pretty remarkable. 27% of Harvard students, excuse me, are foreign students. And I think that the focus on this anti-Semitism issue is kind of focusing on trying to quell some of these protests on campus. And I could kind of sympathize with that. But at the same time, I do think the real issue here is the fact that Harvard has lowered their standards to a ridiculous degree. And they're no longer admitting people into their school based off of historic principles, based off of how hard someone worked, how smart they are, how beneficial they can be to society. Now it's based off of some other weird idea of equity, of DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. We see this in the statistics and Harvard's practices when they actually enroll people. They have certain quotas for certain races, and they reject a lot of applications of people that are just brilliant. I told a story just the other day of a guy who he was getting out of high school. He had just gotten out of high school. He was applying for colleges. He applied for all the Ivy League universities, including Harvard. He had developed an app in high school where it would give you caloric information on food, utilizing AI. You would scan it. It would tell you what kind of caloric information was in this food. He sold the app for, I believe it was $30 million. He had perfect grades in school, had a perfect GPA, everything that you would expect from someone that would go into an Ivy League university. And he got his response back from all of these universities, and one by one, they all rejected him. And why, you might ask? Well, it's hard to tell because they don't say exactly why, but you probably wouldn't be surprised to find out that he was a white male. Yes, that is correct. So stuff like that really makes me wonder what exactly is going on here. But what do you guys think? Are you happy that Harvard is getting the axe on these foreign students? I think that they should enroll more students from the United States of America. I mean, clearly there's not a problem with finding good students. For some reason, they want to enroll a lot of foreign students. They should have professors that are extremely smart teaching students who are extremely smart, the next leaders of our society. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the reality right now. They are vying for a different agenda, and they're trying to do things that are not within the Trump administration's interest. They are violating certain rules, and they think they are special. And Kristi Noem here is essentially telling them, hey, listen, you're not special. You have to abide by the rules just like everybody else. And they don't like this, and neither do all of these leftist judges. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I'll see you on the next one.